fall and then not. Well, the East Side Pyrus, it's a name you may have heard or hadn't heard in a long time until last week. That is when Sacramento County Sheriff's deputies tell us they put the cuffs on a high-ranking member of the group in a sweep that netted 6 arrests and took at least one unserialized AR-15 style weapon off the streets. That follows many other instances of this kind of organized crime, one being a 16-year-old supposed gang member leading deputies on a May chase that ended in a fiery crash near 5th and X streets. So are investigators just locking onto their targets more and routing out more gang activity, or is there more activity? Community activist Leah Shank, founder of Impact, with me now live in studio. So Leah, what do you think is going on in Sacramento County over the last couple months? Is there really an uptick in gang activity from what you've been able to witness and hear out there on the streets? Or do you think that deputies are being more effective in sort of zeroing in?
Well, I think they're talking about it now. You know, there's always an uptick and a rise when summer months come.
Okay.
You know, there's less for youth to be able to do. But it's been a concern for us in the community for a very, very long time. So for us, we always look at what the precedents are to this and why. Why are youth carrying around guns? Why are they getting involved in gang activity and drug activity and things like that? So for us, it's always the preventative work. By the time the law enforcement comes into play, the crime has already been committed. And so they're not really about the preventative work. So that's really where we come in at as community organizers and leaders, to be able to segue these activities and this behavior to another place, something that's more holistic and more prejudicial to the community as a whole.
I know that based on your experience working with families that are unfortunately entirely too close to a lot of the tragedy that happens in our area, you would like to see law enforcement and local prosecutors maybe change their approach and maybe have them pay or give reduced probation or parole to formerly incarcerated gang members to work the streets in a different way and work like kind of a community policing network. Have you approached any agencies about doing this? Have you gotten any reaction to that idea?
I mean, we've tried to have those conversations, but really, I mean, what better person to be able to deal with this behavior than someone that's already been there, that's already gone through it? So formerly incarcerated, you know, individuals or formerly gang-tied and gang individuals, they are the ones that really theoretically should be dealing with this issue because they know they've been there. They know what the problems are. They know what brought them to that activity. And so really the community should be in charge of their own community. And we should be able to govern our own space because we know our community best and we know what the community needs. And so we just need to be given the tools and the resources to be able to do the work that we already do, but to a higher magnitude so that we can lower these numbers.
I know that local law enforcement agencies, they're always strapped. I don't know one that we deal with that is fully staffed. So they're running from call to call. They're having to be reactionary first to be able to handle what's happening out there. I know you think that officers should be able to slow down and do some more of that preventative work to kind of change what you see is happening out there on the streets, and that you really think that would make a difference if they were able to really learn their community in a different way?
Well, culturally competent is a thing, so they have to be able to understand the streets that they're working on. But aside from that, we have to be able to curb these behaviors before they ever start. And so school districts need to get involved in these things. It's really a collective approach. Before a youth ever has a gun in their hand, before they ever feel like they need to join a gang, we have to be able to get to all of those antidotes that take place before a youth ever even wants to be involved in this activity to begin with.
After the Sacramento police killing of Stephon Clark, the city responded by putting money and resources into Stephon's house. And then after the K Street mass shooting in Sacramento, there was a lot of talk about all the different ways and all the different resources that were going to be put into use so that it didn't end up in what was originally thought to be a gang-related shooting there on K Street. What have you seen on the ground in the resulting years? Do you think that there is just not enough of that happening, or you don't think those efforts have worked at all?
I think that the funding exists. It's just not being funneled to the right channels. It's not being given to those of us that are really out here doing the work. I think that that's a big part of the problem. But I also know that it's temporary. So something like K Street happens, something like Stephon getting killed, you know, by the police department, and something like that happening, that's temporary activity. It's a selective outrage. It doesn't have any longevity. And that's what we need. We need longevity. We need to know that this is a year-round issue that we have to be able to deal with year-round, not just in that moment. And that, I think, is where things fall off, is that it's temporary.
And in terms of it being temporary and getting kind of out of that mode, when you do approach law enforcement, you know, at the highest level to say, okay, how can we make this better for next time? Do you feel like you are still getting pushback and other community leaders are getting pushback, or there is that sort of collaborative mindset in the area?
I mean, it depends on what agency we're talking about, but there's not much of a collaborative approach because I think law enforcement thinks that they have it all figured out. I don't think they understand that or trust us enough to know that we have a lot of the answers. We are connected to the community. These community members are coming to us. When the youth are acting up downtown at Doco or at Arden Mall and all these, you know, different community spots,
All
it's
incidents
us.
we've seen lately.
Yeah, we're called into those spaces, not law enforcement. And it shouldn't be law enforcement. It should be community leaders. And so they have to be able to step aside and trust that we are better equipped to be able to handle the community. And once they understand that, then we can have that collaborative approach, because then there'll be an understanding, a professional understanding amongst both parties.
All righty, Leah Shank, founder of Impact, thank you so much for coming in, for your perspective on what seems to be, we're hearing about it more, an uptick in gang activity in Sacramento counties. Lots of ways to get at the solutions, and hopefully both sides can get in on this. Thank you so much for joining me today.